Okay, question number 3. A lot of people email me and ask me about how do we turn. So there's a big debate on whether you turn the balls of your feet, the heels. So some systems will turn onto the heels and turn away from the center. What we like to do is turn the balls of our feet. So we like to turn with our weight centered. Again, we're thinking about controlling center of gravity. So some people say to me, oh, you're double loaded, which means you're 50-50. Well, we're neutral. That's why you do sit in town neutral, because what you learn to do is have a neutral balance. Now, when I take pressure, you pressurize me. Now, my balance is felt through that person, and I'm loading my weight. Right? Then I release that to take his balance. Okay? So you need to have a weight control. It's no good just fighting against the line of attack, because in some ways you're still just fighting the arms and fighting that arm position. I want to be controlling the person's whole body. So it means that whatever they do, if you throw a punch now, because I've got pressure control on him, I can feel where his weight's coming from, where his pressure's coming from. That's what we talk about when we talk about a clash. Sometimes in Chi-Sao or fight, you'll clinch up or clash, and then you have to release and delink to take the pressure control. It's no good saying that all you're going to look for is target the strike and target the strike, because in a real fight, people will trade with you. If you chain punch down the middle, and you have an opening, you change out in the middle, I could just throw punches at you, and it's 50-50 then, because I could take some of them punches and I can give punches. So we always want to control the person. So when I control you and strike you, it's harder for you to get power and to return that fight. Turning on your heels for us means you're turning off the center. We want to turn on the center. So a lot of people will say about getting the side angle, which is correct. You want to be, side angle is a good position to be in, but how you get there is important. What I don't recommend is when someone punches, I'll do it from this side, if you punch on this side, is to come to the side and then do your technique from here, because I'm walking into his hardest shot. If he throws a right cross, that's a really big wind-up, right? But I want to be in a side position, but I don't want to walk around there. I don't want to try to get around it, because, again, it's slow motion. He's going to see me moving and get around it. No one throws a punch and they throw slow motion. They punch, they throw fast punches. So a fast punch, it's going to be very hard for me to get to here without getting nailed with this one, right? So what we do is, in a fight, often what happens is you clinch up, and what I'll do is, balls of the feet, my hips, my shoulders, my spine, I twist him out. Then I open the line. Now I've got pressure on him. So the pressure on him, when he winds that punch up, pressure control is either going to slow it down, or it's going to give me the line of balance, or it's going to give me time to control that line for my next technique. Okay? So in some ways, people say it's more subtle, but in some ways it gives me much more time. And that's the old saying of, slow is fast. Right? So slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? If he comes in and I get the position of his weight, controlling his weight, if I get the knee position, he throws a punch, I control his balance very easily. Right? So what we want to do is all about balance control. So to get that twist through the kinetic chain, I have to be on the balls of my feet. Right? When I get pressure, I can load my whole foot. But truly the weight is really controlled through the ball of foot. But the whole foot can take pressure now, right? And I can twist and control the cogs of my spine and my hips, right? But if I'm stiff and I turn from one side, it's locked in. So that's linking too much of the body together. The more I can keep my kinetic chain soft, and the more I know how to lock positions, lock the elbow, lock the knee, lock the hip, and then release the chain, then I can gain control. So when he pushes towards me, I might lock the control, then release, right? And obviously I have to have the skill to defend his arm positioning, right? That's obviously 101. But it's much easier when he's off balance, right? If my opponent comes in to do Chi-Sao, for example, and my opponent's balance is off, it's very hard for him to gain that balance back. If I press into him, he pushes me, push, and I hold the position that I delink, take his balance. Now it's very hard for him to recover from that strike. If he stands neutral, and I'm just looking to try and get the line of attack to attack, right? If he stays still, it's easy, right? But if he moves when I do that, it's going to be very hard to control that. So I want to load my pressure on him. I want to take his weight. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's muscle against muscle, it's correct muscle, using the kinetic chain to control weight, right? So people say, oh, Alan uses his weight a lot. I'm not the heaviest guy, believe it or not, in my class. There's guys heavier than me, right? I'm getting lighter. But when he pushes me, I'm using my weight correctly. I'm using my hips. I'm using my power. Then I can issue through the body. So what we're doing is really through the body mechanics. It's not about the angle. The angle is important only when I have your position and have your weight. So when we're turning, I'm really twisting you around me. I'm not going around you. And that's not to say in sparring you can't go around somebody. You can. But you have to cut the angle very tight, and you obviously want to have them slightly committing their pressure towards you before you actually angle. If you angle first, it's not so good sometimes. So in Chi style, in the clinch or in contact, if I can pressure you and you push me, and I can release the pressure and take the angle, I appear to be at the side now, but how I got there was different. And my pressure is on you, or my Lansau is pressing you. So the pressure's in that leg. So now when you push back to me, I can take your balance and control you. So the turning links into the center control. The turning is like having a strong post in the ground, and the person, their post is weaker than yours, right? So people often say it's based upon strength. It's correct strength. There's no such thing as bad strength, right? Good strength. If you're stronger than me, then that's great. So good strength is what we're training, right? The whole idea of someone using too much muscle, too much strength is a bit stupid, because if they've got that, you need to deal with it, right? So we need to have a way of dealing with it. And even the girls in my class at 50 kilos can hold their pressure against guys who are a lot heavier than them, because they have control of their hips, control of their waist, control of their ankles, control of their pressure on the ground. Okay, so this is an insight into what we believe and what we do. Okay, so that's we turn on the balls of the feet. We use the whole feet, the whole foot, and we use the whole body